You can tell, you don't want to tell me over the air though, or?
It doesn't matter if I'm over the air. I just want it to be known.
Okay, just hang on 1 second and I'll mark it down. And he's putting the music on now, okay?
From Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
This is City Controller Cass Kwiatkowski, and we're going right to the phone line. Go ahead, sir. Give me that number.
Okay, about 405 Lighthouse Street. The street light's been going off and on and off. It's like a strobe light, you know? And it's like replace it or knock it out, one or the other, you know?
Okay.
And that's my only problem.
Okay.
Frankly.
Right in front of 405 Lighthouse.
Around that area, yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, we'll turn it in. Thanks for calling.
Well, thank you for listening.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. Well, we're back on the air. We'll just had a little technical difficulties. Back to the phone line. Go ahead, caller.
Sounds like a bad ballast.
A bad ballast?
Yeah.
Probably is. We got to put you back on there, you know that?
I had 40 years of ramrodding for them people. Hey, I've got a couple things for you.
Yeah, why don't you come on the show? I don't have anybody here today.
Well, I can't make it down there now, but you ready?
Yep, go ahead.
The flag for the Hungarian monument.
Yeah, I was just by there the other day, but I didn't have a good angle at it.
It's ripped.
Which one?
American.
Oh, the American flag?
It didn't last very long, did it?
No, I went by there yesterday, and the wind was whipping it pretty good.
Yeah, a couple of, strong windstorms. And those flags that are made in China, they don't seem to hold up to the American stuff.
Hey, that's kind of an embarrassment, because I like to buy my flags from...
Youngstown, Ohio.
What's the name of that company?
I don't know offhand, but they make them, they are American.
I get one from a company that's American, too. I'm trying to... I can't remember the name of it, but...
They have a big one in Youngstown, Ohio.
Well, we'll have to look at that, when I buy my...
You'll find it on the Google chart.
I try to buy a new one every couple of years at least.
Yeah, I got one that, I don't know, it was Dean Pepicello gave me. And that's an American flag. It's lasted 15 years.
I have one. I can't remember. I told you I bought off a good American company. I've had it 5 seasons.
I tried to get one when Phil English was in the office, and he told me I had to buy it. Believe that? That's how they fly over the Capitol 2 or 3 times a day, where they run them up and run them down?
I got a free state flag from Linda Bepko Jones when she was in there.
Oh, BJ.
Yeah, she was very, I still have that flag in my office.
She was a character, wasn't she?
Yeah, but you know what? She was, you could talk to her,
She was a talker, she was sincere, and she tried to get things done.
Yep, and she knew her shortcomings, and that was...
Yeah, her shortcomings were down at 3rd and Parade.
But, hey, she was a good woman, I'll tell you that. Man.
Shortcomings down at Hogan's.
But that American flag is ripped, and I'll make sure... Last time the zoo bought a new one for him.
Yeah, well, and this next comment's going to affect the zoo.
Uh-oh.
If you went by 38th Street and then you saw the bricks all thrown up down there on the corner where they're all coming up because of the winter.
Yeah.
Saw that too?
I didn't see it, but somebody told me about it.
There's piles all over. Somebody's going to... Well, nobody walks on them, thank God, but...
You mean the bricks that are...
The one that makes everything aesthetically pleasing?
Yeah.
When they went in there real nice, well, now they've heaved and hoed, and now they're even thrown out of where they're supposed to be laid.
Are they on the walkway, John?
No. It's close to it, though.
But they're all along 38th Street?
Well, there's spots, yeah, from 38th and, what do we call that, Peach Street?
Right.
All the way down to, what's the first, to Cherry. That section there is all bubbling up. And so I'm sure Scott will probably take care of it.
Well, I don't know if it's his responsibility, but we'll find out.
I thought the zoo had that property. That the bank gave it to him.
Yeah, we'll have to find out, but I know he's a good man. He bought the flag, like I said last time, but
That's nice. You know what he can only buy what's available. Maybe he doesn't look for that made in the USA.
well, maybe the flag he bought him isn't the one that's there now either. Maybe they, that is a windy corner, though. I'll tell you that.
Sure is. That's where you need one that's bound up pretty good, all the sizes.
Which makes a question: what are the Hungarian flags made?
Probably Hungary. And they're still hanging up. They must be made out of better material, stronger material.
Yeah, I was reading about where some of the stuff is made. It's kind of sad,
I went and got a couple of appliance bulbs the other day, and I picked up a GE bulb at the place I was at, and I looked at it was made in China.
It used to be made, well, they were all made here in the United States at one time.
I put it back in a case, and I picked another one up. It was a Phillips, and I saw that was made in the Philippines, so I bought the ones that were made in the Philippines. Yeah, I guess I'm just an old-timer, but I got another question for you.
Go ahead.
Do we have a patching crew working on Sunday?
That I don't know. I know they're working off, lately they've been doing some patching.
Well, they're doing a good job. There's so many potholes around, it's unbelievable.
Something tells me they probably aren't on Sunday, though.
I saw them on Sunday.
You did?
Yeah, I saw a crew. I didn't catch the truck number. I didn't figure, hey, if they're out there and they got a major patch, they get the call, they go and take care of it.
Yep, there's a lot of patching to do. That's the problem.
But we don't know their hours. Maybe they have a crew that's patching on Sunday. But if they're patching on Sunday, what do they get? Time and a half? Double time?
I'll find out for you.
All right. One other thing.
It's not,
And I saw the salary of these authority members.
Where was it in?
It was in yesterday's paper.
I don't read the Times too much, but go ahead.
And the water authority chief down there, $167,000. I think Casey Wells, 27,000 somewhere in there. Scott gets like 116,000. Our friend at the parking authority, he's not even in the 100, but he's up there. But he does a good job. Mm-hmm. And then there's Kim Green. She gets $96,000 a year. Now these are just salary. It doesn't include their benefits.
That's true.
And the whole thing is, they're to report to city council every 6 months. Why report to city council?
Because by ordinance they have to.
I know, but what the hell? City council won't do anything anyways.
Well, I think it's there because...
An authority is autonomous of the city, so city council shouldn't say squat about them then.
I think it's just more of a disclosure.
That's more of a disclosure for what? The whole thing there. But
well, the public...
Okay, I'll get off the phone. If it's slow, I'll be back.
Well, hey, listen to my comments, because what happens is they are allowed to... the public does ask. John, you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I do get calls at my office wanting to see that sheet, with certain salaries listed.
Yes. Well, that should be right to know.
Yeah, and but because of that, because they have to send it to the city clerk's office. Now, I could ask for it too, but as long as the clerk has it, I'm okay because I can go down and get it.
Well, the clerk should put the salaries on the city's advertising station there, Channel 9.
Or on the website, you mean?
And on the website.
Well, I can bring that up. That's not my call, but I'll bring it up.
No, you've got the council people on with their phone numbers and everything else. And if I go to call a councilman at 2:00 in the morning, you think I'll get an answer?
I know people got upset when the mayor got a raise, but think about the difference.
Well,
the disparity between a mayor of a major city, right?
Yes.
And an authority director who
is making more than the mayor.
Yeah, I'm not going to diss them either, but there's a little difference between running a city
and an authority.
Yeah, quite a bit. Now some authorities are pretty huge, pretty important. I'm not saying some aren't, but if
authority, what big deal is that?
It just the amount of money involved is to the average citizen, and you always hear, you have to pay to get quality. Yet, a lot of the authorities are some are making money and some aren't.
Well, that's true.
You
got the airport authority. Chris Rogers, a temporary job. He makes a good salary.
And he's producing out there.
Yes.
And Ray Massing, I'll mention him on TV, just like Whitey Cleaver.
He's producing, but he hasn't broke the 100,000.
No, and Whitey and Ray Massing as heads, well, and the legendary Whitey Cleaver, the people hated him, but you know what?
He did a good job.
Hey, the city never once had to pay any of his bond issues, and he did what he was supposed to do, which was build parking facilities and provide parking.
And give revenue to the city.
And they did, and they made and not once did they come back to the city for help.
And there you got Kim Green up there on the 5th floor. She owes all kinds of taxes. The city's bailed her out how many times? Making almost $100,000. I don't buy it.
Well, that was her predecessor, so let's give her a shot. And if she doesn't produce, then
she's not producing.
Then everybody goes on to fire. Everybody's equally under fire.
I said, but she's not producing. She did the building, that was Taj Mahal where the post office is. They were their back taxes, back mortgage payments. Their mortgage payments, they can't even make it now. So where is she producing? How many people are on her staff? And I don't want to hear because she gets federal money. Mm-hmm. How much federal money does she get for her salary? All of it?
Well, in some towns they're disbanding some of these authorities.
Sure. And how much does she pay for rent down there? How much does she pay for her utilities?
Well, the sad part is, John, all authorities, almost all of them.
The city's responsible for all of them if they go belly up.
So it makes no difference where you take the money out of. It's coming out of the same pair of pants.
That's true, but then, the whole shot there, we are paying for it out here, the taxpayers.
Oh, you're going to pay for it either way.
That's true, but the whole thing there, let somebody else jump in here.
Okay, if it's not, if it's a little quiet later, call back.
Okay.
Well, John, as usual, John's right on the ball. Okay, American flag, gotta get that fixed. Bricks lifting. Yeah, I don't like when bricks are lifting. And more streetlights out, although I hope to have a good announcement on that shortly. And posting salaries on the website. Now, that would be interesting. And I know our budget is posted on there, and so are some of the salaries. So maybe that's something that we can bring up and bring it to the attention of our computer people. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, Kaz. Hey, I'm calling in about the catch basins on Old French Road.
Those ones that are always bad.
From 35th to 38th Street. On the west side of the street, the
Right.
Jefferson side.
Did they ever come and clean them?
Well, the thing of it is, those two catch basins they're right flush with the ground, even with the ground. Mm-hmm. In the wintertime, the plow goes up through, there's no curb there, so it plows the grass and the dirt over the catch basins. So I just went by there and they're covered with the dirt and debris. So they're worthless right now. They're approximately on 35th and 37th. They're on the west side, on Jefferson side.
35th and 37th on the west side?
Jefferson side, the west side.
Right.
So the water flows down and it flows right over them because they're covered with dirt and debris.
How many are covered? A couple of them or more?
Well, both of them.
Okay.
They're flush with the ground. I think they call them cascade catch basins. They don't have a backflow on them.
Oh, okay.
Even with the ground?
Yeah, they don't have that, like that, they're not that L-shaped like.
No, they're just grates in there, right even with the ground. And when the plow goes up there, it plows, there's no curb. So the plow plows the dirt and grass right over the catch basins.
Okay, you know what, I'll try to ride home tonight to take a look at them.
They're on the right-hand side there, but you can see they're covered. Also, I'm the guy that called in about on 12th Street between State and French.
Yeah.
That pothole there by the alley.
Yeah.
I went in there Saturday or Friday, and it's not a pothole anymore. It's like a gully.
I turned that into a real close friend of mine.
Yeah, well, it's been about, I've been calling you about
Yeah, I turned it in just this weekend, so.
Oh, okay, because it's...
But I turned in again, meaning I saw somebody specifically I know that does it.
Uh-huh.
I've kind of gone by the department heads. They don't seem to be listening.
That's a state
Well, 12th Street is, yeah.
So the state or the city do that?
I think, well,
It's getting so bad now, I mean, it's really
the state,
deep and wide,
the
you know?
state does it, but I think if they don't, you know, I think we'll do it too. What's crazy about that one, when I looked at it,
Uh-huh.
it might be actually on Commerce Street. Because the hole is kind of like off 12th Street, right?
Well, there's a driveway right there. You go into the credit union at alley goes from 12th to 11th.
Yeah, I think when I looked at it last time,
That's right there.
it was in a little bit, so it might be on actually our street more than it is on 12th Street.
On the city portion, and it is on the driveway.
Yeah.
Deep and wide now.
Yeah, that guy promised me he would get over. I'll give him another call.
Okay.
It wasn't a department head. I talked to someone.
That one on Old French Road from 35th to 38th there, that's completely covered with dirt. I usually clean them up, but I don't have time now, so.
Okay, I was hoping you told me they fixed that pothole on 12th Street.
But they haven't fixed it yet. So,
Yeah.
okay, I'll let you have somebody else call.
Okay, no problem.
But
I want to thank publicly, though, Lori Parmenter from our traffic engineer department. I turned in a couple complaints to her, and they were taken care of real fast. There was a complaint about a sign on French Street. I think it was about 8th and French, I believe it was. And that sign was, they put up another one that's more visible, and I want to thank her for that. That was showed up nice, and I believe I had another complaint about near a school where I'll get back to that one. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kaz, I'm going to start early this year.
What's that?
Up that alleyway between Chestnut and Cochran,
It's you want it cleaned, right?
from north and south. I'd like to have it blacktopped.
You better, you're calling wrong. You better call the mayor's office and the engineer.
What?
Yeah, they're the ones that'll put the list together, but I'll mark it down. Your chances of getting an alley paved will probably be pretty tough.
I can't even get it graded.
Well, it's on, give it to me again. It's on,
Between Chestnut and Cochran,
okay, I'm marking it down, I'm printing it.
26th to 29th, north and south.
Okay, Chestnut to Cochran.
Yeah, you did Cochran to Myrtle last year. You did the wrong alley.
Not me, I know, they
They were happy.
Chestnut to Cochran, 26 to 29, north to south. Correct?
Yep, and there's a couple potholes on the ones going east and west.
Is that the one they did last year?
They didn't do it last year.
Which one, when they did the other one, was that, did you say they did the wrong one last year?
Yes.
That's not the one with the potholes this year, right?
Forget about the potholes. That'll never get done. Just try to grade the alley north and south.
Okay, I'll turn it into them.
Okay.
Tell them you're really mad at them again, right?
Pete's leaving this month. Have the crew come in on a Sunday.
Uh-oh, you give them, well, we'll have to give them some beverage. What do you think?
Yeah, that's leverage. Good enough.
Hey, call back.
All right.
And like I said, I wanted to thank Lori for, there was also a school sign that was over by the old Sacred Heart area, and that one was knocked down. I believe, I went by there yesterday, it looked like it was fixed. If it was the same one that was down, I'll have to check on that, but I want to thank her because usually when I turn something in, it's done rather quickly, and I know the citizens love that. And we're pretty well, if you got any kind of topic you want to talk about, we got an open line, and I have no guest today. He got tied up. And just driving around town, it looks like, go ahead, caller.
Palmer Street, I thought the city gave that to the businesses off of State Street.
I don't think so.
I thought they give it to them. Because Chido was popping away, because I wrote a piece in...
Well, we paved that a number of years ago, remember?
put a piece to the letters to the editor about that, and I said that we have streets out there that need paving, and they're paving an alleyway.
Yeah, they paved that, remember?
Yeah, that's why I was asking, why are they paving a street that no longer belongs to the city?
I'll mark that down. Is Commerce Street still a city right-of-way? I believe it is, but, I could be wrong.
Ask our illustrious clerk. We won't make it a 10-minute meeting and adjourn.
What's that?
I said, ask our illustrious clerk. We won't make it a 10-minute council meeting and adjourn.
No, why is that?
Well, the council the other day, they shouldn't even had time to take their shoes off, and they're leaving.
We'll try and see if that's a record. Nobody has it on record, though.
Well, it's a record.
Well, you know what? We only had one citizen to be heard.
Yeah, Mr. McDonald?
Yep. And there really wasn't much on the agenda.
Well, he has to talk because he was appointing to the Human Relations Board.
Hey, you got to get appointed to some kind of board.
I am. Board of Thorns.
You were on a board once. I won't tell you which one, though. I remember that one.
Yes, I was, and I resigned because nothing was being done.
Nothing like a board that doesn't do much, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, that gentleman was talking about the sewers in the storm basin.
Yeah.
Where's the collection? Is it underneath the grade or above the grade?
I think it's above the grade. The way he's talking, when the plows plow, they take the dirt.
Well, that's true, but we have a problem there.
What's that?
Because if it's under the grade, then it's the sewer department. If it's above the grade, then it's the streets department.
Yeah, I'm going to call the streets because that's where I usually start with.
You know, you were in the service and all that. That was all. What they do is they pass the buck. You know, you get a crew there and they see that. They won't do anything unnecessary unless it's written or a direct order.
Well, I actually, about 3 years ago, you remember where the old Sontheimer's Bakery was?
Yes.
There was a sewer there that was really bad shape. I mean, it was.
On 29th and Cherry?
I think that's the one, yeah. Well, actually, is it 29th there, John? No.
Yeah, well, it's pretty close, 29th or 30th.
Yeah, it was right there on that corner, the northeast corner. And that thing was lifted up. It was bad. I mean, somebody could have just fell right in there. And I called up the sewer department, and I got to admit, they came out quick. They first thing they did was block it off and try to secure it, and then they brought in a new piece and redid it.
That new suction pumper.
Well, they actually took the whole thing up and rebuilt the concrete because the whole thing was sagging. It was terrible shape.
Well, I know I've called the sewer department numbers of times to clean these sewers up on the hills here.
Yeah.
They've never showed up once.
Do you still got the problem?
It's a problem from 38th Street and Page all the way up to Grandview. They're filled up with mud and there's concrete and you name it, it's in it.
I want to tell you, my pump is running like full time in my basement. So there's got to be a lot of water out there right now.
Oh, you're behind the natural spring.
There's springs all over the place up there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of water. I'm telling you, these grates are really taking a beating.
Yes, if they were all clean, you wouldn't have to worry about it, would they?
No, you're right about that.
Okay, we'll get off of here.
Yep. You might be the only caller today, way it seems like.
Maybe I should put on a Donald Duck suit and come down.
Well, hey, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Steiner did a great job last week.
Yeah, he's welcome. He and DJ are both welcome.
And he's
anytime they want.
Informed, and he sees both sides of it. And tomorrow's the last day for anybody for a petition that's going to run for office. I'm too young, or else I'd be running against Joe Senate.
Hey, yeah, that's interesting.
So, I won't say any more.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Oop, I'm sorry, I cut that person off. I hit the wrong button. If you call right back, there we go. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, hey, Kaz, that John just called?
Yeah.
That's 100% right. You call the sewer department, and they're supposed to clean the sewers inside, and the street is supposed to clean the debris on top of the catch basins.
Right.
One, and they send it to the other. You call the other one, they send it to the other. It's back and forth. So he's 100% right.
What I do in that case is I call it Public Works
Well,
and let them solve the mess.
call and they say, I'll put you on the list, and 3 weeks later, you're still calling in, you're not on the list, so.
Well, don't feel bad. I'm still waiting for the weeds in the field next to me to be cut.
Well, he's right, though. He's 100% right.
Yeah, he is. I'm going to try to find out, like, you know, I'm going to call and ask him if there is a list or what, but some of those drains, I know they haven't been cleaned up there. And I'm not saying because I live up there, but it's been a while since I've seen them cleaned up there in the Upper East Side.
Situation here is up on 38th and Old French Road to 33rd Maiden Lane.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hilly section. All that water flows down there. Plus, Holland, they used to have the soapbox derbies there.
Yeah, I thought they did one time.
So then those catch basins there, all that water flows down Holland Street, and they're not clean, so they end up at Maiden Lane in Holland, and Maiden Lane doesn't have any catch basins from Old French Road to Holland. So all the water flows down there. It's a long, almost 2 blocks long, so it all goes to Maiden Lane in Holland, and then it goes into all our backyards because the catch basins aren't clean.
Let me check on that one. I know they've had trouble, like, since they did the Jefferson School project.
They wouldn't have much of a problem if they kept the catch basins clean, but they don't.
So you're saying, like, Maiden Lane gets a lot of it now?
Oh, Maiden Lane, all that water flows down there. There's no catch basins at all on Maiden Lane.
Maiden Lane and French Street, you said, or?
Old French Road.
Old French Road, okay.
Lane down to Holland. There's 3 catch basins there on north, east, southeast, and then on the west side. But those, when the debris and the leaves get in there, they don't clean them out. Water the land is sloped on my neighbor's driveway, and it comes all into our backyards.
You get sump pumps in your basement too?
Sub pumps, no.
So your basement probably gets wet, right?
If you get about 8 to 10 inches surrounding the house, I think it goes right down to the foundation. Them old homes, they had like tile all around them.
Yeah, luckily I got a sump pump in mine, but I tell you, it's running like mad, so I can only imagine what you're getting.
Well, a sub pump wouldn't do any good because if that water comes in your yard, it's like 8 to 10 inches outside of your house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worthless, you know.
No, mine's going like mad, and it's.
You know, a lot of people complain about John calling in. He calls in when there's nobody calling in, but he's 100% right.
Yeah, he is. He's on target. I don't know. So sometimes I wonder. He gets his information. It's always right on mark, and I don't know how he does it.
Oh, I think he's doing a good job. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, I'll kind of bring your question up to the engineering department and see what they tell me. Yeah, I know we get a lot of complaints on that Holland Old French Road area, but constant drainage and overflow. And like I said, just driving around the city, you know, they're trying to fix all the potholes and everything, and with the nice weather, we're getting a lot of water, snow melting, and well, with it comes a lot of problems. Wherever water goes, water will cause problems. And like I said earlier, my area, my sump pump is running overtime, really. And kind of just here waiting for any phone calls. Here we go. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Hey, Kaz, how you doing?
Good, how you been?
I'm doing all right. I was a little concerned, man. I was calling and it was ringing, but no one was answering. I thought maybe you'd banned me or something.
Oh, when was that?
I just called you a few minutes ago.
Oh, I think I might have been the button I hit by accident, cutting you off.
No. When that other guy was talking, usually when you call, it's busy. The line's busy.
Yeah.
But it was just ringing away. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I got a hold of you. Kaz, what I wanted to ask you is I noticed the street department's out there filling the potholes today.
Right.
But they're not packing it. They're just like throwing a shovel full in, and you run over it, and it gets all up underneath your car and tears it out. Why don't they use a tamper and tamper that down?
Well, they're supposed to tamper it.
Yeah, but I mean, right on Parade Street.
Yeah.
Right there before 18th Street, they're just putting it in a hole, and it's not tampered, and it gets up all underneath your car and that. I just didn't understand.
Well, I thought they're supposed to tamper. I think what they're using now is cold patch, which is not as good.
Right.
But
Still, not tampering it, it still's not going to stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask them if they, I thought, I mean, every time I seen them, I used to see the one guy I knew real well, he would tamp it a little bit in there, even though it's cold, you know, you want to tamp it somewhat.
Hey, that guy you had on there last week.
Yeah.
The guy sat in. I'll tell you, man, he really did a good job. You know.
Yeah, it's John Steiner. He's been active in the community for some time.
Right, but I mean, he was real professional, and he wasn't nervous, and he took all the calls, and I mean, I was impressed with him.
Well, I appreciate it because I had an eye appointment, and he's been around publicly. He's run for office unsuccessfully, but he's been involved in a lot of these. He's with the Perry 200 now, and he was involved in a lot of committees over the years. So he's been around the community, and he's used to talking in front of people.
Well, and another reason I'm calling Kaz is because I'm the guy that's always complaining about the street lights and stuff.
And I told you, that's fair game.
Well, no, but I mean, I want to call and I want to apologize. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it, I'm wrong, and I was wrong. You are the only person who's taken that on. There's not a council member in this city who come on there and discuss anything. You took it on to do something about it, and I was wrong, and I'm here to admit it that I was wrong, and that you are doing something about it because I checked into it. So I apologize to you personally because attacking you and saying you weren't doing something when you were was wrong of me. So I'm just trying to man up and say that was wrong.
Well, I appreciate it, and like I said, you're always welcome. This is your show. You're always welcome to your opinion. And
right.
There is something going down. We're just trying to work on it, and it is being taken serious. I can tell you that. And
I know. Like I said, I checked. I know that something's being done. That's why I felt bad, because like I said, I called there and didn't pretty much call you a liar, but it was just wrong what I did. And like I said, you run this show. You're the only one who'll come on here to do this. And if it isn't you, there is no show. So. Well,
I hope whatever happens in my future, and I don't know what that'll be. But, I hope somebody will keep it going. And if I'm around, I will keep it going,
Right. Well, I don't know why there'd be a conflict just because you're not an elected official running this show. I mean, if your time's up and controller and you want to run this show, I don't see why there'd be any issue with that. There shouldn't be.
Well, you never know it, but, I enjoy it. And, like I said, I got it kind of by default. When Jimmy took it over from, Mario, and when Jimmy passed away, I kind of took it by default. I enjoy it, and you know what? When I go around town, I'm amazed how many people, they won't call into the show, but they will stop you on the street.
Yeah, I know a lot of people listen that don't call in. I know there's a lot more people listen to it than people realize.
And some people thought you were mean to me, and I said, you know what? I said, he's a citizen, and I can see his frustration because I've been there. You get the feeling like when you're talking, nobody's listening, or
right.
You just feel like it's the same old rhetoric. And I've quit a couple committees that I thought were going nowhere because everybody was patting themselves on the back and saying, we're doing a good job. But we're not. We didn't do anything,
Right. Well, I mean, I live up around here, and, I see the lights burn out, and I know it's a serious safety issue.
Well, yeah.
And, I mean, that's just like with this, the cable stuff. They've been meeting and meeting and meeting. I mean, come on, nothing's going to be done about that.
Well, I actually got an answer for you on that.
You do?
Yeah, it's not going to help you, the citizen, okay? The committee is pretty close to a decision, and basically it's going to concern how much revenue is shared with the surrounding communities.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with lowering our bill, giving us better service.
No, because in reality, and I could lie to you and I could tell you anything you wanted to hear, but in reality, the cable company has all the cards in their corner, and there's not a thing we can do. I mean, they got the legislative laws, they got the court rulings, and they're pretty much going to hand it to us on a platter. And the only thing we can do is we can go to satellite, or we can hope that like Verizon comes in and sets up a system.
Right. Well, the only one bad thing about Satellite is a lot of poor people in the area, and if you don't have credit, you got to give a deposit. So a lot of people can't afford that. You know what, Kaz, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about.
Well, can I say one thing, and then you know, what about the senior discount? There's no more senior discount.
I didn't know that. That's just, it's greedy is what it is. It's greediness. They have a monopoly. They know there's nothing you can do, so they're going to charge what they want, and it doesn't matter who meets about it. Nothing's going to change. But there's one other thing I want
Go ahead.
And I'm very disgusted about this. We have a racist who comes to city council meetings on a weekly basis and blasts his council, talks about them not hiring black fire women, calling everyone a liar, and then we have Witherspoon who nominates him to sit on a board. That is absolutely ridiculous that they would do that. This guy's been nothing but I lived here for 4 years, and I've never seen Mr. McAdory offer anything except his racist views and trouble. And we reward him by having him sit on a board. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous that anyone would even consider that. And then Mr. Witherspoon's going to get there and say he's very knowledgeable and this and that. The only thing that guy is knowledgeable about is pitting black against white, okay, and crying race at every time he gets a chance to. And the city rewards him by putting him on a board. And speaking of the board, I just seen where these guys is the water guy, all these people who got these raises. He got like a $30,000 raise. Paul Voychek or whatever his name runs the water place. Mm-hmm. That's unreal.
Well, when you get independent authorities that are autonomous, the ball's in their court and their board can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, they go around here and if your water gets shut off, they charge you $25 to turn it off and $24 to turn it back on. You know, and then we have someone sitting there and he says he's proud of the job he's done. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. If people complain about the mayor getting a raise a few years ago or last year, whatever, and here's a guy that got $30,000 or somewhere close a raise. I mean, that's no wonder the city's broke. You know, we're paying people $100 and something thousand dollars, almost $200,000 a year for what?
Well, in that case, the people who are paying his salary are the ones that have all of us that have water. And
yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much everyone in the city.
That's right, and the surrounding areas.
That's us taxpayers.
The salaries are just huge. I mean, I may get in trouble for my comments. That's okay. But
I won't. And I would like to ask Mr. Voychek, I believe that's his name, why don't you donate that $30,000 to charity? Give it to these, we got a lot of poor people around here, homeless people. I would like to see Mr. Voychek give up that little raise, that $30,000 raise, and do something for the community. Quit taking and give back a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't pick just on him because some of those.
I know it's not.
Some of them they got. Not only do they have great benefits, salary, but they have personal vehicles, and that one always makes me laugh. Personal vehicle.
Right. Well, when you're adding in their benefits and everything, and they're getting paid $167,000 a year, they're actually getting almost $250,000 with everything. But, you know, I just, like I said, my main reason for calling, I'm very, very disappointed in council's decision to put McAdory on anything. I think that guy should have been shut down at City Hall many, many times about some of the comments and some of the discussions that he's brought up. That was completely out in left field. And then for Mr. Witherspoon to say that he's very knowledgeable and he's a good dude and this and that, everyone who watches everyone that watches City Hall meetings, and anyone who's ever been there knows that's completely opposite. Mr. McAdory is a racist. That's what he is, and he should not be sitting on any board in the city of Erie.
With the president...
Like I say, Kaz, I apologize to you one more time. I was wrong, and I apologize.
Well, thank you, and feel free to call anytime you want.
Okay, Kaz.
Even if you disagree with me, you're welcome, okay?
Oh, I know that. I know that.
Let's hope, though, that with what's going on in the community, let us really hope that it turns out to be a good appointment, because if it doesn't, I mean, we don't need any more turmoil in our community.
I agree with you, but I'm very concerned about it, and I think it was dead wrong. I mean, there's plenty of people could have served on that board for him. I mean, they always, him and a few other council members, they play with him with kid gloves up there. You know, these guys come in here, they wear hats, they wear glasses up to the podium. You know, it's just respect. You remove your hat, you remove your glasses if you have something to speak. McAdory, the other guy says, oh, I'm from 19th and Reed or whatever. Don't even give his house address. And these guys have nothing to talk about but black, white, how they're treated wrong and how this is wrong and this is wrong. You know, sometimes I think them guys forget we have a black president and the white people who put him in office. So this racism crap is dying.
Well, I think we all hope in this, in our city, in our community, in our world that, God, we got to start changing things, because the Erie I look at out there right now is not the Erie I grew up in. And,
yeah, I know.
And we got to learn to, we got to make this a better community, and we all got to work together, because we're stuck here, whether we like it or not.
All right, well, what it makes me look like is when they appoint someone like that, a complete racist, to a board, okay, and when they do something like that, it makes me not really have a whole lot of hope in the city, because when you're appointing people like that with views like that, I mean, my God, you know, well, it's just wrong. I'm going to let you go, Kaz. Goodbye.
Okay. And let's hope things work out, because right now this community is at, all communities are at tipping point. You know, this country has ways to come back, and I think we can do it. And like the gentleman said, we elected a minority president, and it shows a lot of faith. And let's hope we all work together. And I am going to look at that sewer problem. We're going to have to see it. That seems to be an ongoing problem. And sewers are one of those things that aren't very attractive, but very necessary. And don't have much more to add, just some observances. And as you drive around and you look and you see that Erie's a great community, but we do have some things we have to work on, and that comes to the forefront. I know I get a little discouraged when I ride around, and I notice a lot of businesses still don't want to give the city of Erie a chance, and we need that business to come back in here. We also need people moving back in here. And if I have one goal in the rest of my life, that's going to be it, is to bring the city back to hopefully where it was once, and it can be there again. And, you know, on positive notes, you read about the airport runway extension, and let's hope that brings in some added benefit to the area. And you drive around and you see the work going on in the city, and it's all good. And let's hope, you know, people go back to work. Let's hope that things turn out good. And with that, you know, I'm hoping we get a few more phone calls there. If not, we'll just try to, maybe we'll have to go off a little early. Here we go. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Kaz.
What's up?
Oh, two-letter word meaning above.
Pardon?
Okay, this is Jeff calling. I live on East 41st Street there.
Right.
Okay, we had the water main break, and I got 2 poles on our property there that I was wondering if you had a chance to look at that.
You know, I rode by there, and I have your notes on my other notes. Nothing was done yet, right?
No, well, not with the poles anyway, but yeah, Mother Nature is going to take a long time to get that mud off the street. I just don't know what they would do about that. It's like an inch thick down at the corner.
Okay, that was on, I have it upstairs. That's on 41st.
Between Parade and Sunset.
Okay. Well, I got a lot of phone calls to make the street, so we'll work on that one.
Okay, very good, sir.
Any more street breaks up there? I mean, water lately, or has it been okay?
No, everything's been hunky-dory.
Seems like we ran into a lot of problems up there for about a week or two.
Hey.
It was one after another popping.
Yes, it was.
But let me put a phone call in and we'll see what happens.
Thank you, Kaz.
Okay.
Good day.
Oop, there we go. Yeah, for some strange reason, the water breaks were really kind of wild this year, and really got hit up there on the east side. Driving around the east side, I know I was listening to one of the talk shows, and they were talking about, once again, the local colleges and their impact on the neighborhoods, and that's another issue that I don't want to, keep harping on, but something has to be done with that. We have to get the neighborhoods back in shape again, where we don't have absentee landlords and people renting, mainly college students, that don't really care much about the environment they live in, and that's always been a problem. And till that's taken care of, more of our citizens will be moving out, and more of the neighborhoods being run down. And while I fully appreciate what many of the colleges are doing, it gets to the bottom line again about. Go ahead, caller.
I see where Gannon took out a $22 million bond.
I was just getting onto that. You must have read my mind.
A $22 million bond to redo that stuff down there. More parking. They're probably going to have concessions inside. For nonprofit, that's wonderful.
I don't know what, I really don't know, John, if it's patterned after Edinburgh. You ever been down there?
Yeah.
Well, I was told that one time Gannon, I don't know if I haven't seen the design of this one, but I was told it was going to be like an inflated dome type of thing.
Yeah.
Like they had in Edinburgh. And maybe this one isn't. Maybe this one is more fixed. But it sounds like it's going to be a practice facility, so they probably won't have that many concessions in there, if any at all. It probably won't even be for competition in any way,
No, they'll just hold camps and they're in charge of fee.
Oh yeah, it'll be that, and it'll be primarily like the football team to work out all winter.
That's true, an indoor facility, really.
Yeah, and I always laugh because when I was at Gannon, this will be for athletics. It won't be as much for the general populace.
We had an indoor facility when I went to East. We had a quarter-mile track inside.
You did?
Inside.
Yeah, we had one at Tech. It was called the gym. We didn't have, it wasn't marked out though.
We opened up both gym doors and we ran around the whole first floor.
That's what at Tech we ran around the same way pretty much.
And Billy Braben, you would never know where he was going to pop up, so you couldn't duck him between the auditorium and whatever. He kept laptops pretty good.
The legendary Fred Trott, you remember that name?
I do. My son and him got along fantastically.
Yeah, he used to put a bucket on the first floor of Tech, right by the office.
Yep.
I won't tell you what the bucket was for. But,
I can imagine.
But you ran until you needed that bucket.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it was actually more of a pleasure to run in the meets than it was in practice.
Well, sure it was, because it wouldn't be so hard.
Yeah, I mean, it was, it was like,
It was a break.
Yeah,
A meet was a break.
How many, 4 laps, 8 laps? I can do that,
I do want to commend Erie Insurance.
Who?
Erie Insurance.
Why is that?
They bought the city motel and another property, and now the property is going to hire more people, and they are paying taxes on their properties.
Yep, well, I heard a rumor about them that, this is all part of a big plan. I don't want to leak it because...
Well, they got a few more homes. They got, they bought the city motel and a house next door.
And the armory.
And the armory. They may keep the armory because the armory's on the historic calendar.
Well, it'd be nice if they could turn that into something,
Yes, it would be.
And you know what? I shouldn't say they have the money to do it.
True.
Compared to another developer, I think
Putting your money into it and you're getting money from it.
And they'll do it right. Maybe it'll be a community center. I don't know.
Right, and they're not waiting for handout money. They're using their own money.
No, I said this. No matter how you feel about Erie Insurance or different places, Erie, even when they take advantage of the tax credits, which they did, and still probably will in some time, that when they're done, they're not only employing people, but they're paying taxes.
That's true.
So, even though we may have had to give them a little break a few years ago, they're still in those buildings, they haven't moved out of town, and they've hired more people.
Right, you're not going for a KOZ zone or alerta zone or whatever.
And if they do, John, you know that even after they're done with it, they're going to pay their taxes and still hire more people.
Right, the KOZ zone, it's 15 years and alert is 10 years, I believe.
I think that's what it was.
But it was 10 years.
But you know what, I don't mind them because, you know, when they build, and, you know, I wouldn't be mad at Gannon if they would, you know, work out some kind of pilot agreement or something like that.
First yours and Lee Kong.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I mean, you know, a bone once in a while doesn't cut it.
But, you know, when Jimmy was around, he was, he couldn't believe it when he heard that parking lots, for-profit dorms, athletic facilities.
That's true.
They're all tax exempt. It doesn't matter if they're educational in nature, if they're part of the campus, they're tax exempt.
Yeah, maybe Judge Gerhardt would have a different feeling.
Yeah, it's you know, I'm not, like I say, I'm not against Gannon, but
no, but they should pick up some of the load. They're getting all the services.
Something's got to happen because all across the Commonwealth, if you look at Pittsburgh, it's the same thing. Between the hospitals and the education.
You know, every time I see this with all this stuff, I have my disdains for that good old great councilman, Borgia.
What did he say?
Well, he was the one that was the deciding vote when Mario had the land tax.
Oh, that was...
And Joyce vetoed it, and he was the one that sustained her veto.
I think had we had the land tax, we would have a lot less empty fields right now.
There's no doubt about it.
Especially, like when you looked on, like where you and I live, John, there's a lot of places that could be built in.
It's true. I see that one down 38th and McCain Avenue down there where the attorney owns it, and it's a jungle that's laying down now. You don't see it up in the air, and the raccoons and skunks had to go elsewhere.
What'd they do, cut it?
Wait a bit, because it's going to be growing up.
What is that, something growing?
It's right next door to that old car wash down there on 38th Street, next to Pizza Hut.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I thought you said McCain Avenue.
It is McCain, isn't it?
No.
Well, sure it is.
I mean, down by our Pizza Hut on...
I think that's McCain Avenue there.
Isn't that Zimmerly or Zimmerman?
Oh, maybe it could be.
Oh, yeah, the one with the sign that's laying in the parking lot.
Yes.
And the broken out window.
Right.
And the modern art on the building?
Yes.
What do you think's going to happen? What happened to that one you said?
They didn't do anything. I called the complaint department.
Yeah.
I called the trouble department there, you know.
Nothing happened, right?
Nothing happened.
Off the air, I'll tell you what I think happened.
And then it ends in a vowel. You got a good chance.
Well, you know what?
This city.
When I go by there, it is amazing. It does look bad.
It sure does. Well, have a nice weekend.
Maybe we can make it a what do you call it? A reserve.
Well, maybe have it a jungle. Maybe have some lions in there.
We'll get Sarah Galloway to plant some exotic brush in there.
Or maybe we can get some baboons.
Well, you know what? I'll send I got a what do you call it? A woodchuck named Stanley Avenue Stash.
There you go.
We'll bring him over there, and every Groundhog Day.
Well, you'll compete with Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, you and I will get some suits on. We'll get a couple other people.
Yeah.
We'll pull a little varmint out. What do you think?
That sounds great. The last time I was down there at Punxsutawney Phil Day, I had a field day.
Yeah, I feel bad for Pizza Hut. You know, you got to look out in that.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll get off the air. You're probably getting close to time, and see if we can get our clerk to put the salaries of those authority members up on the.
Well, it won't be his call, but I'll see if we can do it.
But I don't know if there's something against that or what. But
well, it's if you want to, like I say, anybody that wants to know.
The right to know, you can call them up and have them mail you the stuff.
They actually have the salary of all employees, even for those authorities.
That's true.
So in some cases, you see how little the workers make.
Yes.
And how much the bosses make.
That's true there too, But like Mr. Grossman with his new assistant warden all there, where he wanted to waive the degree deal.
Yeah.
I've never seen any degree coming out of high school or college that was pretty smart on whatever the job. I think I would want a person that's qualified on the job.
Well, one of the crazy things I found when I was on the school board, was like when you hire an assistant coach, right?
Yeah.
And I just use like any name. If, let's say, name any athlete that had made the big time.
That's true.
Was to come back down and say he wanted to coach football.
He didn't have that degree to get it.
Right, and that was, in some states, you know, they would, now like for instance, in shop classes, teachers don't have degrees in education all the way. They would have a proficiency in their field, and they would take principles of education. That would be because, you know, you're not going to find a guy that could teach auto body or plumbing that had a degree a lot of times. You know what I'm saying, John?
I know what you're saying.
So, I mean, a lot of times I think there is something to be said for practical experience, you know.
Practical experience goes a long way. It helps to have that degree. But the degree is, the whole outlook on a degree is, if I got a master's or whatever, demand more money because of my degree.
But I agree with you. Sometimes I think you have to look at what they bring to the table. And if that happens to be, you know, you have a guy that's a veteran that worked in incarceration in the military or something like that, or wherever, you know, that should account for something.
Well, sure it should be. So, well, have a great afternoon, and I like that shirt. It doesn't say City of Erie on it, so.
Why, you don't like City of Erie shirts?
Oh, no, I like City of Erie. You know when the City of Erie was founded, don't you?
I'm looking up there, 1851.
Turn around and look. It should be on that wall right behind you.
I did. I look at that thing, and it's a little off, but it's not bad, though.
The people that sit up there a lot of time are a little off, too, not including yourself.
Hey, I'll give you a call off the air, though.
Okay.
Well, I'll get, you know what, when I leave office, I'll get you a nice shirt, John.
No, I don't want one.
Why?
Well, okay, I'll have one, but where are you going to get the size? Petite.
Are you being funny or what?
It's petite. And by the way, the thing for the Perry celebration is in yesterday's paper, too.
Yeah, but we didn't get any coin yet. You got to work on that coin, John.
Get you a coin.
Oh, you got to get them to make one, remember?
Pardon?
We got to get you to have them make one.
Yeah. I'll have a coin for you.
Okay.
No, it says Ohio.
There you go.
Okay. Bye-bye.
And with that, we're going to be heading off the air here. I want to thank you for all your phone calls and try to get a report back on everything I have here to look at. And hopefully next week we'll have an answer to most of them. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again here next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.